Imagine a poor little girl, so hungry she had to pick through trash just to survive. One night, while scavenging at a dump site, she heard the cry of a baby. She didn't know it yet, but that tiny baby carried the bloodline of one of the richest men in the country. This is the story of Amaka, a homeless girl who found more than trash in the dirt. She found destiny. Amaka was only 12 years old. She and her mother lived in a shack made of rusted zinc and old plywood, built on swampy mud. When it rained, water poured through holes in the roof and soaked their thin mat. Rats crawled in the corners at night, and mosquitoes buzzed endlessly, leaving red bumps on their bare arms. But worse than all of this was the emptiness of her father's absence. He had left when she was just 2 years old, never to return. Amaka often dreamed of him walking back through the door with toys or food. But every morning, those dreams shattered into silence. Her mother worked tirelessly, scavenging bottles and cans from the city dumps, selling them for a handful of coins to buy food or pay Amaka's school fees. And Amaka loved school. She dreamed of becoming a lawyer, someone who could speak boldly and change lives. She promised herself that one day she would build her mother a real house. But life had other plans. One day, while picking trash, her mother stepped on a rusty nail. The wound swelled and festered until she could no longer walk. Medicine cost money. Doctors were for the rich. Amaka watched helplessly as her only parent lay groaning in pain. She made a decision no child should ever have to make. She left school, picked up her mother's sack, and walked barefoot to the dump site. Her hands dug through mountains of rotting food, broken bottles, and buzzing flies. The sun burned her skin. Her back ached. Still, she pressed on. At night, her mother whispered, "I am proud of you, my daughter," and those words gave her the strength to fight another day, but hunger was merciless. Some nights, they slept with empty stomach. When it rained, they shivered, soaked and cold. Amaka prayed silently, asking God why life was so unfair. Yet she refused to give up. One night, returning home with a sack of scraps, she heard a faint cry. At first, she thought it was a cat. But the sound came again, weak and desperate. She dropped her sack and followed the sound. Her heart pounded as she reached a dump site. Between piles of garbage lay a tiny bundle wrapped in a torn blanket. A baby. Her lips pale, her fists trembling. Amaka gasped. "Who could do this?" she whispered. Her hands shook as she lifted the baby into her arms. Tears filled her eyes. She had nothing. No food, no bed, but she couldn't leave the baby to die. "I don't care if we have nothing," she whispered. "I won't let you die. From now on, you are my sister." Far away, Chief Nduka, one of the richest men in the country, lived in a golden mansion. But he was broken inside. His wife, Lady Chika, had died giving birth to their first child. Before her last breath, she had begged him to take care of the baby and had placed a golden necklace around the child's neck. That necklace became his most treasured memory of her, but his greedy relatives plotted in the shadows. "The child is the only heir. If she grows, all his wealth will go to her. We must act." They bribed a servant to take the baby away. One night, the servant carried the infant into the slums and left her in the trash. By morning, the mansion echoed with Chief Nduka's screams. His wife was gone, and now so was his daughter. His heart shattered. Meanwhile, in the swamp, Amaka cared for the baby. She named her Chimamanda. But raising her was a battle. The baby cried endlessly from hunger. Neighbors mocked Amaka. "You can't feed yourself, and now you bring home a burden?" Some even accused her of stealing the baby. Amaka lowered her head but never let go. One kind woman gave her a small bowl of pap mixed with milk powder, and Amaka fed Chimamanda carefully, whispering, "Don't cry, Mandy. I'll always be here." Her routine changed completely. Each morning, she tied the baby to her back with a faded cloth, carried her sack, and walked to the dump. With one hand, she picked bottles. With the other, she soothed Chimamanda when she whimpered. Passers-by mocked her. A child raising a child. What a shame. Men laughed. Some women whispered cruel things. But Amaka only looked down at Chimamanda's face and whispered, "I'll protect you, even if the world laughs at me." At night, when her mother cried in pain, Amaka massaged her leg with one hand while rocking Chimamanda with the other. She was only 12, but life had forced her to grow into a woman overnight. Days turned into weeks. Sometimes they had nothing but gari mixed with dirty water. Sometimes Chimamanda cried until her tiny body shook with hunger. Amaka begged in the street. People pushed her away. One wealthy woman shouted, "Where is the father? You are ruining your life." But Amaka wiped her tears and whispered to Chimamanda, "They can mock me, but I will never abandon you." One night, as hunger tore through them, Amaka begged by the roadside, tears streaming down her cheeks. People ignored her. Some spat. Finally, an old man stopped. He looked at her for a long time, then pressed a few notes into her hand. "Child," he said softly, "God sees you. Don't give up." That night, Amaka bought milk and fed Chimamanda until she slept peacefully. Amaka whispered a prayer, "God, I don't ask for riches. Just help me keep this child alive." And God heard her. One hot afternoon, Amaka stood at the city gates, Chimamanda strapped to her back. Cars sped by. Some drivers threw coins at her feet. Some laughed. Suddenly, a convoy of black SUVs approached. The crowd scattered. But Amaka stayed. She was too desperate. Inside the lead car sat Chief Anduka, his heart still heavy with grief. His eyes scanned the street and froze. Around the baby's neck shimmered the golden necklace. His wife's last gift. His breath caught. The convoy screeched to a halt. He pushed past his guards and rushed toward Amaka. "Where did you get this baby?" he demanded, trembling. Amaka clutched Chimamanda tighter. "Please, sir, she's mine now. Don't take her from me." Tears spilled down his cheeks. "No, she is mine. She is my daughter. That necklace, my wife placed it on her before she died. This is my baby." The crowd gasped. Amaka cried, "No, I found her in the trash. She was dying. I saved her." Chief Anduka fell to his knees on the dusty road, sobbing. "My child, my princess. God, you've brought her back to me." He looked at Amaka, his voice breaking. "What is your name, child?" "Amaka," she whispered. He repeated it slowly. "Amaka. You saved my daughter when everyone else betrayed me. How can I repay you?" She lowered her eyes. "Please, sir, help my mother. She is very sick. That's all I want." The crowd gasped again. A poor girl had the chance to ask for wealth, but all she wanted was her mother's healing. Chief Anduka pressed his hand to his heart. "Your mother will not suffer another day. I swear on my wife's grave, I will take care of you both." He lifted Chimamanda from Amaka's back, holding her close, tears streaming down his face. Then he said firmly, "Take me to your mother." That night, the convoy rolled into the swamp. Neighbors whispered in shock. Inside the shack, Mama Amaka lay weak and pale. When Chief Anduka entered, she tried to sit up, her eyes wide. He knelt before her. "Madam, your daughter saved my child. She gave me back my blood. I owe you everything." Mama Amaka wept. "We only did what was right. We could not leave a baby to die in the trash." Chief Anduka touched her leg gently. "You have suffered too long. Tomorrow you will see the best doctors. You will walk again." And he kept his promise. Weeks later, Mama Amaka was healed after surgery and therapy. She walked again, her steps steady, her face filled with gratitude. Chief Anduka gave them a new home. A real house with a strong roof, painted walls, electricity, and clean water. Amaka laughed as she ran from room to room, opening cupboards, touching smooth walls, lying on a soft bed. She hugged her mother and cried, "Mama, we have a real house." Soon, Amaka returned to school. When she walked into the classroom in a neat uniform and polished shoes, her classmates gasped. "Is that Amaka? The trash girl?" But Amaka ignored the whispers. She sat proudly, her books open, determination in her eyes. She was no longer just a child of the swamp. She was proof that destiny could rise from the dirt, news of her spread across the city. People whispered her name with respect. Newspapers called her the trash girl who saved a billionaire's heir. Pastors told her story in sermons. She had become a symbol of hope. But Chief Anduka wanted more. He organized a grand celebration. In a hall filled with leaders and cameras, he stood with Chimamanda in his arms and Amaka by his side. His voice rang out, "This girl had nothing, yet she saved my child. When I asked what she wanted, she asked only for her mother's healing. What kind of heart is this, if not the purest of hearts? From today, she is my family. She will go to the best schools. She will become the woman God destined her to be." The hall erupted in applause. Amaka trembled as she stood there, tears in her eyes. For the first time, she felt her suffering had meaning. That night, in her new bed, Chimamanda asleep beside her, Amaka remembered the swamp, the hunger, the insults, and the night she heard that faint cry. She smiled through her tears. That cry wasn't just the cry of a baby. It was destiny, calling her out of the dirt and into the light. Even in the darkest places, compassion can open doors that money never could. Amaka had nothing, yet she gave everything. And in return, love rewrote her destiny. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and subscribe for more inspiring stories. Because sometimes the smallest act of kindness can change the world. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends so they can be inspired too. I'd also love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Your feedback means a lot. And if you want to enjoy more stories like this in the future, make sure to hit the subscribe button so you never miss the next upload.